Hello and welcome back to another video. And in today's video we are finally putting the mulcher to its first test, its first use. So since we bought this, we haven't really properly used it as such. Now it was on the concrete slab, so when we had to clear the concrete slab to put for the silage bales, we did put it on the back of the International, and when we might have done 1 or 2 rings around that field there, but all it was doing was maybe a handful of rushes scattered about the place, but mainly it was just sort of low grass the cows had grazed. And to be honest with you, that first little test, it done pretty well, but today we're putting it at its first big proper job. So the Shroy, the field that I have topped where the 4 cows were, I did mention in a couple of videos that I did want to go in with the mulcher and just basically to give the rushes, the stump of the rushes, an extra lower cut, because the topper obviously can only cut to a certain height, and our topper is set to its lowest height, so it is as cutting as low as it can. But the mulcher here can cut that little bit lower than our topper. So that is what we're going to do today. It'll mulch a bit of the grass lower, and especially what I wanted to do is mulch a little bit of them rushes a bit more. So hopefully that it will sort of hinder their future growth, and it will promote new younger grass to grow, and it might then limit the amount of rushes that grow back or something like that. But ideally we'd want to spend nearly maybe a full day or a week at drainage work in that field to really see proper results rushes wise in that field. But obviously time is against us, weather could be against us, and we don't have a machine. We'd have to hire a machine and all that, so probably something maybe for next year. We'll see, we will see. But for today we're going to bring the mulcher out, and sure, there's no better excuse to bring the mulcher out and give it its first proper day's work, I guess. So yeah, we'll go ahead, hop up on the tractor, and fingers crossed, because I am excited about this, fingers crossed hopefully it actually works, and hopefully nothing goes wrong. So yeah, let's go. So this is the field in question, the field that I topped, and I also gave it a quick roll in just to level out the ground for the mulcher. So yeah, I think we'll adopt a similar system to when I was topping and rolling, as in I'll do that half first, so that side of the drain I'll do that first, and then I'll do this side second. So we'll just go around and around with that, and then we'll go around and around in this section afterwards. So when it comes to mulching, it's a bit slightly different to topping speed wise. So when I was topping here, I started off in high first, and then I had to drop down to low fourth because the rushes were heavy. And this side it was more of a lighter crop rushes wise, so I was able to get to all that in high first with 1500 revs. But when it comes to mulching, you have to have a fairly high rev on the tractor, but also be in a very low gear. So I'll try it in low third, but I have a feeling that might be a little bit too fast, especially with the amount of revs that I have to give it. And so I probably will have to drop it down to low second with a lot of rev. So mulching is a very slow job, but we'll get through it, hopefully everything goes according to plan, fingers crossed, pray to the Lord and all that good stuff. So our mulcher, that black little box there, is Some of them are belt driven and some of them are chain driven. Our one is chain driven, so it has a shear bolt on the PTO shaft. So just like the tapper, if it comes into too much pressure, it will break the shear bolt. If it was belt driven, if it came into too much pressure, the belt would just start slipping and then the actual flail stops spinning. But our one is chain driven, so it has a shear bolt, and it is a slightly bigger shear bolt than the shear bolts in our tapper. So just like our tapper as well, you can see that one side it pans more to this side than this side. Our tapper usually juts out a bit more to one side than the other. It's not dead in the center of the tractor. So it's in that case, it is a very similar process to the tapper, where the bit that juts out is the bit that you have all the bit that's left to do to top or mulch. So the bit that juts out is the bit that's facing towards the area that you still have to top or mulch, while the inner bit is on the outside, or the bit that you've already topped or already mulched. So we'll just back up and get it into position. Same as topping, which is easy enough. We'll chance it there. So, low gear. I'm thinking maybe start off from low third, because I can always drop down a gear if I feel like it's too fast, because you do have to give the mulcher that extra bit more time to mulch and do its thing. So, PTO. Slowly engage the PTO. We do need a new cover and a chain for the PTO, but it'll do for today. Low gear third. And you have to give it that little bit more rev than I would in the tapper, because when I'm tapping it'll be 1500 revs, so I might chance it around 1800 or bump it up to 2000 revs, which is 2000. So yeah, we'll chance it at that. Drop it down to low second just to see what that's like. compared to the grass, that's mulch. Now I have a couple of rings done. I don't know how much, but it is a very slow job. You want a lot of patience. So I am topping in low second with 2000 revs or 2000 revs, 2000 RPM. Now for the light crop that's in it, because I came in with the topper first and I'm only mulching the topped ground, I could probably chance it in low third with 2000 or 2000 RPM revs. But you can see here clearly that it is doing a fairly nice job mulching. It is tidying it up that little bit neater and nicer. So you can kind of see this side, the more greener side, is the bit that was topped, and then on the right hand side, the more yellowy side, because it's covered in dust and mulch and all that, is the side that I'm after mulching. So if I can find an area where there's rushes, where there's mulched, I actually kind of find an area where there's rushes mulched. Is this it? There's some here. Okay, so this is what the rushes look like when they're mulched. I would say there's about 3 inches of it there sticking up. Camera probably isn't doing it justice. I'd say 2.5, or we'll say 2 to 3 inches of rushes still left sticking up after it being mulched. We have a lot of choice here for rushes that are topped. You can see that's the rushes that is topped. A bit more than the rush that's mulched that we were just after looking at. And here is more or less the same. There's a bit more sticking up there and a bit more. So the mulcher, I would say, is probably taking a good, I'd say a good 3 to 4 inches off the rushes that are topped, leaving them rushes that are mulched, that are topped and mulched, even nicer. And as you can see, it's just leaving dust behind. It's absolutely annihilating the grass, and it's absolutely annihilating the rushes that are topped. So yeah, I think you can clearly see, clear as day, topped and then mulched. So mulched and topped, clear as day. It's like the icing on the cake. That, like topping a field after cattle have grazed it, or topping rushes, really does tidy up the field. But when you come in with the mulcher afterwards, it just does that little bit more of a better, neater finish. Obviously I sharpened the flails. You've seen that in a previous video. So now there is a couple of flails with a couple of chips taken out of them, more bigger chips than others, so they will want to be replaced eventually. I cannot really find a flail here. There is a little bit of a chip there, but there is flails in there with bigger chips gone out of it. The majority of them are looking good, but yeah, all them flails. The video that I made when we first bought the mulcher, when I revealed it to ye on YouTube, I think there's a lot of stuff being wrapped around that, and the bearing is getting a bit seized. But anyways, I think we priced what it is to how much one of these flails are, and then I think I counted how many flails are there, and then added up the total of how much it is to replace every single flail in this. I don't rightfully know from the top of my head how many flails are in there and how much a flail is, or how much it'll cost in total to replace every single flail in there. But if you want to know, it is on my video where I introduced the mulcher when we got it for the very first time. Now, unlike the topper is set to its lowest cutting position. This is set to its highest cutting position, so I don't know which side it'd be easier to demonstrate on. You've bolts here, you've that bolt and this bolt adjusts the skid, the slide, so that is at its highest setting possible. There's 2 more slots there and 2 more slots there as well. Just 2 bolts and you can slide up or down the skid. And then you have the roller on the back, which you adjust with this one and this one, and you can adjust that up or down or in or out or whatever. So at this moment in time it is set to its highest cutting or highest mulching setting possible. But other than that, it is, as you can see, whether or not you can see through the camera, it is mulching very nice. I am very, very happy indeed with how it is turning out. If I was to come in here now and mulch the field without topping it, I probably would have to stick in low second with 2000 revs. But because I did top this, I probably could go around it in a higher gear and that little bit faster. But I've done this much now in low second, I might as well stick at it. we're getting through it nicely, and yes, it is taking quite a while. It is a slow job. I'm thinking now I probably won't get to it today, but when I do that half, I'll probably chance it at high tide with about 20-100 reds. The slow second, it's a bit slow. It is taking quite a while. But we might as well stick at it now and see it through. But it is cleaning up the field very, very nicely indeed. Very impressed. Very happy. So yeah, we're well over the halfway mark. But I have been doing it for quite some time. So I'd say another hour and a half, and put a nice good dent in what's left. But yeah, I'll keep at it. It's getting narrower up here. This is a wider spot, so I think once we go up and then back down again, the runs will start getting shorter. Because all the straight edges will be gone from up here, and it will only be a point. So after I finish this run and the next run down, every run after that will be getting shorter and shorter. So thanks be to God. You can see that there's not a lot left, but it is a very, very, very slow job. But on the upside, the results speak for themselves. I mean, just look at that. Compared to what it was when it was stopped, it's like a golf course or a football pitch now. It's just really tidied up the field. But it's basically the icing on the cake, that's what that is. But anyways, we're chipping away at it, and we're getting through it. We're nearly at the end of this one, and then on the next one, and then it's getting a hell of a lot shorter then. Yes! We'll be getting through it a bit quicker because the runs won't be as long as they were for all of that. Turn around, and this will be the last full length row, hopefully. This should be the full working width of the mulcher, and it should get a bit down before it starts spreading out again. Just up ahead where it starts widening up again. But I think it's only half the field then I have to do up and down. So once I finish this one and I come back down again, it's only half the field. And then the more time I go up and down, the more further up the field and the less of a travel, the less of a journey I have to do. And that's it, starting to widen open then now. But just back there, small bit sort of spitting, but I'm almost done, although it will take another little while to finish. Well, I don't know if the cameras pick it up or not, but the rain has turned into a heavy mist. But on the upside is that the runs are now only half the field, so I'm only doing half the length each run now, and it'll be less the next run and less the run after that. Hallelujah, we are finished. Well, we're finished half of the field. I'm going to do the other half tomorrow or something. But as you can see, a 360 from within the cab. I don't know, can you see it, but it's sort of heavy mist and the camera probably isn't going to pick it up, but I don't fancy getting wet, so that's half of the field done. And I think the mulcher there done an outstanding job. I mean, just look at the results there. Absolutely brilliant. Although it is a slow-winded job, I think that right there, my new favourite toy, was a very, very good investment. Very happy with it, delighted. If you go too fast mulching, you're not going to mulch the rushes, it'll just jump over it basically, because you're not giving it the time it needs and requires to mulch it. So that's it mulched, and this is it just topped. I'll just leave the camera sitting on the ground. You can see that, whether, I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but there's the grass. And then here it is mulched. Now I don't know, can you see much of a difference through the lens of the camera, but there is a bit. Yeah, I don't know how much of that you can see, if you can actually even see a difference in it, I don't know, but there is a difference in it. It's the first go with the mulcher, the first job with the mulcher, an excellent investment, I must say, an absolutely excellent investment. Absolutely love it. But anyways, that's going to be the end of today's video. Let me know down in the comments how fast you'd go in a field. Let's just take this field for example. There was rushes in it. I came in with the topper, topped it, and then come in with the mulcher. So what gear and how much revs would you be in mulching in this sort of scenario? I feel that's been topped with a couple of rushes here and there. I know that one was low second, but I'm going to try low third in here just to see how well it does. Obviously if it doesn't mulch the rushes all that well in low third, I will have to drop it down to low second, but that's not the end of the world. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my merch, the links that will be down in the description, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Take care.